All right, guys, so we can also get lots of different information off of a phase diagram. So this is a phase diagram for a completely different substance. You can see that the pressure is still on the y-axis and it's being measured in ATMs, so that's its unit, and that its temperature is on the x-axis and it's being measured in Kelvin. I bet you didn't know that there was also a Kelvin temperature, not just degrees Celsius and Fahrenheit. We'll talk about more of that when we get into gas laws. So remember, any data point that falls in this section would be a solid. So if I asked you to find the data point at, like, what phase of matter is the substance in at 50 ATM and 100 degree Kelvin, that point is right there. So you would tell me that it was in a solid, like it was a solid. If I said, okay, so what about if I have the substance at 50 ATM but 300 degrees Celsius? So we would have to go, or 300 Kelvin, sorry, I misspoke there. We would go over here, and that phase of matter is gas, right? And so remember, changing the temperature or changing the pressure can change the phase of matter. Also, don't forget, this is considered our melting line. So any data point that lands on this line is our melting, like it is in the process of melting. And so both the solid and liquid would be present at the same time, right? Think about ice cubes when they start to melt. They don't just like poof, gone. They're slowly melting and there's some solid and some liquid. Same thing when your pot of water starts to boil. So remember, this whole line would be vaporization here because it's separating the liquid and vapor, the gas. And so when it's starting to boil, it's not just poof, gone into gas. It's slowly, like, you have some liquid and some gas, okay? Same thing too, you have a critical point right here and you have your triple point right here. So all of those points are really important. So another question I could ask is that at what temp, if you're at 100 ATM, so if you're at 100 ATM, what temperature would you have to be at in order to be a liquid? So 100 ATM, and I'd move until I got into the liquid. So I would have to be slightly over 200 degrees Celsius. So between 200 and about like 260 maybe. So I would say between 200 and 260, and that would keep me in a liquid phase. So we can use this graph just like you would any normal graph to find those data points in as well.